Writer Omar Gabi will join us to talk about the Cubs and the Cleveland Indians.
And I am telling you right now, the Chicago Cubs do not win the World Series. This entire thing is rigged. There's no way that miserable, nasty team is going to be my Cubbies. No way.
Our hockey maven Pete Torgerson will join us and take a look at the just started NHL season so we can now make our predictions for the upcoming year.
And folks, I'm telling you right now, we are going to make America great again, and the best hour of your sports week is coming up on Glory Days right now.
It's going to be Inravio.com.
Hello again, everybody. Today is Saturday, October 29, 2016, and you are watching the Glory Days Show with Bruce and Disco. My name is Paul Scavani, and this is my good bread.
Thought you were Donald Trump.
Who was that guy? Anthony Mazzallo and Bonnie Schultz are behind the glass, and you are joining us on the Inravio TV network, where we stream live from Studio C right here in the great state of New York.
All right, man. Only 2 weeks to the election. Thank goodness.
I just had to do that.
Well, Halloween is right around the corner too, right?
Do you know that was the last mask in the entire store?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they had no more Hillary masks, and that was the last one. It was, by the way, that was the Angry Donald.
So there's a happy Donald Trump?
There's a smiling Donald Trump. I don't know if he's happy.
He might be smirking.
You know, that's one of the things that I was, you know, I said there's probably two reasons that I would really like to see Donald Trump win this election. And they've got nothing to do with his policies or any of that thing. One of them is that every media person, everything, what are they going to do? And how are they going to explain what they've been doing up to this point if he wins this election?
Yeah.
Right? And the other thing is, especially with what came out yesterday, that they're reopening, the feds are reopening an investigation.
Here we go. Stroking gun. You know what it says on the top here? Here we go. Dickie leaks is what it says, okay? You got to love the Post, man, you know.
But the other thing is, you know, she could possibly be indicted before she takes office.
Yeah.
Okay? And you know what that means? If, for whatever reason, she's declared then ineligible, Tim Kaine is going to be the president.
Well, I think we talked about this in the past. You know, you always got to look at the vice presidential candidates, because either of these guys could be impeached or indicted or anything within weeks or days, or maybe even the day they get sworn in. You know,
right? But if you took all four candidates, put them 1, 2, 3, 4, wouldn't Tim Kaine be number 4?
Well, I suppose. For me, yes, but that doesn't mean for everybody. I mean, I'm not going to make a blanket statement like that, you know.
I think he would be he would be right on the bottom. He's the least. He is absolutely the least qualified of all of them. But my other thought is that no matter what happens in this election, Mike Pence is going to be the president in 2020.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
I thought it should be Kiefer Sutherland, man. You know, we talked about that too. But
have you been watching it?
I have. It was a great show this week.
I didn't see this week's yet.
Watch it on demand. Watch it on demand, man. It was well worth it. Well worth the 2-week hiatus.
You know, so again, this whole thing just seems to get more and more
bizarre,
ludicrous. It's just, you know what? Here's my thought. It's our show, so I can say whatever I want.
Well, it's our show, so
That's what I said, it's our show.
Okay.
I said it's our show. I
Okay.
can say whatever I want.
Yep.
Okay. If the FBI
Yeah.
did not have something incriminating, why would they reopen the investigation?
Well-
maybe not reopen the investigation. Why would the director of the FBI come out 11 days before the election
Yeah.
and say they've got a couple of extra things they want to look for?
Well, I mean, he felt that he was obligated to let Congress know about this,
Mm-hmm.
okay? But it is kindly unusual. Most of the time when an investigation is closed, and that's it, you know? So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to make of the whole thing. I really don't.
Okay, if they knew that they had brand new emails
Mm-hmm.
that they could look through, okay, why wouldn't they just look through them first before making a decision?
Well, no, they haven't even talked about how long it's going to take them to look at these emails.
Well,
you know,
they're definitely not doing it in 10 days.
It could go beyond the election, for sure. You know.
You know what I've been laughing at the last 24 hours?
What?
Is that all of the Clinton campaign and the MSNBC and the CNN all say that the FBI is playing partisan politics.
Oh, of course, they weren't before. They weren't before, of course. Well,
All right, you know what?
let's
save all the political talk.
let's clear the deck.
Let's
yes.
save all the political talk for next weekend show.
Okay.
This is
Fair
what
enough.
I would like to promise the Glory Day fans out there that next weekend we will have people on this show that support both Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. And hopefully, if we can get them in the studios, they'll punch each other.
Yeah, okay. It's kind of like, I'm trying to think, I'm going to say Maury Povich, who was some of those crazy...
Maury Povich, Celebrity Death Match.
There we go, that's a better one.
There's a great celebrity death match, isn't there, by the way, with Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, where doesn't she cut his head off or something? YouTube that.
Yeah.
Celebrity death match. You see, I would love to see, if they were still doing them, those little claymation things, to do a Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton celebrity death match. My God, how great would that be?
That would be good.
All
That
right,
would be good.
But for now, let's talk about baseball.
Baseball. Okay, so we're into, I will have Omar on the show in a few minutes.
And
He
wait,
is
and wait,
a
wait.
Chicagoan.
He is a Chicagoan, lifelong Chicagoan, big
Yeah.
Chicago Cub fan.
I'll tell you what it seems like the city started partying at 5:30 in the morning is what it seems like yesterday.
They said that...
For hosting the first World Series game, I guess, since 1945.
Now, I've never been there, but I've been to...
What, to Chicago?
Yeah.
You've been to Chicago.
I've never been to Wrigley Field.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. When I went to Baltimore, Baltimore has an area right outside the ballpark that is filled with restaurants and bars, and that's where everybody gathers before the game.
I mean, they used to play in Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. You know,
But the way they built it here, apparently Wrigley, and we'll talk to Omar about this, they have something called Wrigleyville.
Okay.
Which is right around the perimeter of the stadium. They said that the streets were closed and that there was nothing but a sea of people starting at 5:30 in the morning.
I know.
11 hours before the game.
I know, and I think people were even paying to be in the bar and stuff like that. So, I think I remember is when Joe Madden took the team over last year, he held a press conference at Cubby Bears, I think is the name of the place. It's a bar I think is across the street, and actually even David, what's his name? The guy from Foo Fighters. What's his name? Here we go. Dave Grohl, that's right. Dave Grohl, they went to all these different towns and recorded a song there, okay? And he had some memories because I think he had a relative that grew up in Chicago. And actually, because the Cubs used to play day games only, right?
Yes.
That Cubby Bears place was a place where they used to do punk rock at night. You know?
Okay.
Punk rock wasn't really accepted, I don't think, in Chicago either at the time, you know?
All right, so let's talk a little bit about some things.
108 years, is that what you're going to get
I want to
to?
look at I have a couple of graphics for 108.
Okay.
Now, what brought this up was somebody was talking about, remember the Kennedy-Lincoln thing? Where they were doing the similarities between Kennedy and Lincoln.
Okay.
You never saw this? Okay. Well, both, Lincoln and Kennedy, their names was the same. Kennedy had a secretary named Lincoln. Lincoln had a secretary named Kennedy.
Okay.
Lincoln was shot in a theater, and the guy ran into a warehouse. And Kennedy was shot from a warehouse, and the guy ran into a theater. There were about 10 or 15 really very weird, eerie coincidences. Like
okay.
John Wilkes Booth and
Lee Harvey Oswald
have the exact same number of letters in their names, and just stuff like that. So apparently, the number 108 is very significant for the Cubs.
Okay.
Now, obviously, the biggest thing is that 108 years ago, they won the World Series the last time they won.
It's a century, more than a century.
Ready for this?
I am ready.
There are 108 stitches in a baseball. Okay?
Okay.
Baseballs, by the way, are also manufactured by the Spalding Company, whose home office is in
Chicago?
And whose address is 108 West Madison.
I see.
Okay? It will take the Cubs 108 outs to win a World Series. Actually, it takes any team 108 outs, 4 games. Okay? The Sears Tower is 108 floors tall. Okay? When Wrigley Field was built, it was assigned a building code of
108.
108.
Okay.
There's only been 2 movies that have ever depicted the Cubs winning a World Series.
Okay.
Back to the Future Part 2.
Yeah.
Okay. And Taking Care of Business, which, by the way, was a J.J. Abrams movie.
Okay.
Okay. J.J. Abrams, by the way, also did Lost, and he used to stick the little Cub references and the number 108 for whatever reason.
108, really?
Yeah. But both of those movies, 108 minutes long.
Huh.
Okay? The distance between home plate and the foul poles in Wrigley Field, 108 meters. Mm-hmm. Okay? The Cubs won their last World Series game before the one they won the other night, which was Game 3 of the 1945 season.
Game 3?
Game 3. That was the last game they won. They lost their World Series.
Oh, okay.
No, that was 1945, the series they lost.
I see.
So they won their last World Series game on October 8th.
1945.
But 10-8 is the representation of the thing. Okay? The Chicago U.S. National Army Guard, it's the 108th.
Okay.
Right? The World Series trophy,
108 pounds.
108. No, it's silver.
Yeah.
Silver's atomic weight.
108.
0.108. Okay. Those are fun facts. We're getting to those.
You're really grasping at straws here, my friend.
Okay.
All right.
Ready? You want to really see her grasping for straws?
Yes. Well, I think we have already.
No, this is really grasping.
All right.
Okay. In 1908, the Cub fans believed that they could predict the team's future by looking at the sun and the moon and the earth.
Okay.
Okay, so there's a very famous illustration of Cub fans looking into a telescope with the sun, the earth, right? The sun and the moon in the background. Okay, the sun is 100 times 8 bigger than the earth. Okay, the distance between the sun and the earth is 108 times the diameter of the sun.
Who comes up with this stuff?
The distance between the moon and the earth
Yeah.
is 108 times the diameter of the moon. And the first manned spaceflight to orbit the earth, 108 minutes.
Ooh. Halloween is right around the corner. Okay.
And by the way, so already, by the way, one of the things did not come true.
Yeah.
Okay? If the Cubs win the World Series, had won the World Series in 5 games, which they could have done before they lost last night, they would have played exactly 108 postseason games. These are the things that keep me awake at night. All right, so let's talk about 1908.
Okay. Were you there?
No. I was there in my former life. I was the mayor of New York.
Okay, you were.
Yeah.
None of the above. Okay.
None of the above. Okay, but there was an Olympics.
In 1908.
In 1908, just like we had an Olympics this year, okay? There was a presidential election. Teddy Roosevelt decided he was not going to run for a third term. So William Howard Taft won, and he won big.
Big.
321 electoral college votes. 341. Thank you. It was the first time there was a Model T Ford. It was the first time there was a vacuum. And there were no professional sports leagues other than baseball.
Wow.
Okay? The NBA didn't start until 1946. The NFL didn't start until 1920. And the NHL started in 1917, after the National Hockey Association folded in 1909. And by the way, the Stanley Cup did not become a championship trophy of the NHL until 1926. It's been around since 1892. But,
boy, really grasping for straws there.
yes, I am.
Well, the Jets and the Giants both won last week, which is the first time in a long time. The Giants had that game in London. They talk about the NFL, their ratings being down. Yeah. What do you think? What can you attribute to that? I think it's oversaturation.
Absolutely.
They're playing Sunday morning games. They're playing Thursday night games.
And I also think it's a matter of the matchups.
Yeah.
I think the matchups stink.
Yeah.
And I think more people are watching Red Zone than actually watching the games.
Yeah.
And I think that people that have DirecTV, I'm not sure how the DirecTV viewership counts in the ratings. Because let's face it, they have to schedule these games virtually months in advance.
Yeah.
And you have really no idea. They're guessing who these games are going to be. I think they would do better if they because televising the game should have nothing to do with the time of the game or you know what I mean? Other than the Monday night game.
Yeah.
The Thursday night game.
I think they should do with these Thursday night games. I mean, to me, they're annoying. They're annoying. Plus you got to put your lineup in early and stuff,
I used to like the Thursday night game.
Well, when they were a novelty, but now they're like every week is what they are, Mm-hmm. It's wrong. It's wrong. Last week we talked about Josh Brown. I guess he was on the double-secret probation. The Giants cut him on Tuesday. And we also talked about the fact that I guess Geno Smith was going to start in place of Ryan Fitzpatrick. Geno Smith gets a touchdown, and then in the next series he gets injured.
Right,
he's out for the season.
Quarter and a half he lasted?
Yeah.
You know what? He's not only out for the season, he's out for his career.
Yeah.
Because first of all, his Jet contract is up.
Yep.
What resume do you bring with you if you're Geno Smith going to the Jacksonville Jaguars and saying, hey, I could be an NFL quarterback? They're going to look at you and say, are you sure this is Tim Tebow's resume? But really, so his career might be over. And this is a guy who, remember, he thought he fired his agent.
And he hired
Jay-Z. Right. But he fired his agent because he wasn't the number one pick overall. What does the agent have to do with that?
I don't know.
Yeah, what else?
Well,
anything else?
That's it. Except that the Jets are playing a team that hasn't won a game, so maybe they'll win 2 games in a row now. We'll see.
Don't bank on it.
Yeah.
Is it at home? Is that a home game?
I don't remember. I don't think it is.
So either way, it doesn't matter. I don't even know who the quarterback is anymore for Cleveland. Cody Kessler?
No, he's not
like
starting.
I don't think he's starting
Kessler's
this
not
week.
Starting. I think it's McGowan, I think.
It might be back to Josh McCown.
That's who it is. That's who it is.
But that they're going to find a way to lose.
I don't think so. I think they're going to win 2 in a row here. We'll see. Anyway,
I'm gonna go
baseball's coming up. We're going to talk to Omar about the Cubs. And we'll get Pete Torgerson on the phone to talk about the NHL season, which started a couple of weeks ago. Islanders not off to a fast start there.
No.
We're just getting started here on the Glory Day Show. Right after the break, we'll talk baseball with writer Omar Gabi about the Cubs and the Indians 2016 series. Then we'll get Pete Torgerson on the phone to talk about the NHL season and give us his annual Stanley Cup predictions.
He's usually right.
Stay with us. You're watching the Glory Day Show with Bruce and Disco, only on the Inravio TV network. We're coming right back.
Hey, this is Chris Les Jake, and if Inravio.com spots you at an event wearing this bracelet, they will give you $100.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansonCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered. Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE. Your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop, 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
Welcome back to the Glory Day Show with Bruce and Disco here on the Inravio TV network. For the first time since 1945, the Cubs are playing in the World Series. And after dominating the first half of the 20th century with 10 World Series appearances, they've been unable to get back to the Fall Classic until just a week ago when they beat the Los Angeles Dodgers in the National League Championship Series. And they earned the right to play the Cleveland Indians in the 2016 World Series. Of course, the Indians haven't won a World Series since 1948, but at least they've been there in our lifetime.
Our lifetime.
Yeah, they were there in 1997.
That's true. Okay. All right.
Last night, the Cubs hosted a World Series game for the first time in 71 years. And if you were a teenager in the 40s, that puts you somewhere in your mid-80s today. On our phone is a man who has spent his entire life wondering what it would be like to see the Cubs in the World Series. So why don't we just ask him?
Let's do that.
Please welcome back to the program, Omar Ghami. Omar, how are you?
I'm good. Your producer had to call me in from the ledge when she called.
Well, you know, it has to be, we could kind of relate to this because it'd been a long time since the Mets had been in the World Series. And
Not that long.
well, not in comparison, yeah. But you know, they finally got there, and they did exactly what the Mets did. They lost their first game. You know, and but the difference is the Mets lost both games before they came home to finally win a game. What was it like in Chicago yesterday?
Oh, it was probably a pretty good mix of tension and joy. The tension, obviously, we're the favorites. We're not used to that. That's not our normal position. But of course, the joy, because as you said, 1945. Everyone knows that number. This was something we never thought we would ever see, and we did.
So were you one of those crazy fans who was up at 5:30 in the bar drinking? I see we got a picture of you with, I'm not sure if that's a recent picture, but at least you had a pretty young kid there. So.
No. That's not. I actually made a pretty loud vow to stay as far away from that area as I can.
I see.
We saw the pictures and the videos and stuff of the, all the fans gathering before the game and stuff. And right up to leading to that first pitch, it was electric in that building.
Oh, absolutely. And I think even the electricity was there up until the end, up until the time Javi Baez decided to go back to 2014 Javi Baez. The place was still out and rolling.
Listen, they had second and third and 2 outs in that ninth inning of a 1-0 game.
They've been shut out twice in the series so far, though.
I mean, if you want to break it down, Baez shouldn't have been up there because 2 innings before, we were even talking about this when Baez was up with men on base. That was the time he should have used Schwarber. He didn't. And obviously it came into play later because then you end up with Baez, the undisciplined kid, up in that same spot again, and he just couldn't pull through.
Yeah.
So why did he use Schwarber during the game leading up to that ninth inning?
Yeah, he pinch hit in the eighth.
On the eighth, okay.
He got sawed off. He popped up. Is what happened to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, his back got shattered.
Yeah.
So is the I know the way teams and fans especially can go from euphoria to gloom and doom, but what's the feeling tonight with Lester on the mound?
Let's go get him.
Yep.
That's the feeling. If you want to analyze and overanalyze it, okay, you have Kluber, and he destroyed us in Game 1, and to be honest with you, I kind of expected him to destroy us in Game 1. But first of all, now you've had a look at him. The Cubs all season long have been notorious when there's a pitcher they haven't seen before of just laying an egg. But then the second time around, look what happened in the Dodgers series. First time around against Kershaw, we were clueless. Second time around, Kershaw was human.
That's right. That's right. And Kluber's going on 3 days rest.
I'm not even going to the 3-day rest thing because you know what? When you're in October and you're a starting pitcher, you tell the manager you're ready to go on 2. So I don't think the rest is an issue. I really don't.
They're probably looking to make sure. When you make your starter go Game 1 and Game 4, you're hoping that if there is a Game 7 that he'll be available. I don't know if I like this, especially now that you won that Game 3. I would just hold him for Game 5 because if you win tonight, you got a chance to close it out with your ace on his regular rest.
Yeah.
Right? That's the way I would look at it. But then again, I'm not a major league manager.
You're not. And if you look, I mean, it seems that Tino has been making all the right moves so far. He's not letting his pitchers go too long. I mean, his starter only went 4 2/3 today, but he's got a great bullpen. So
listen, they've had 4 shutouts.
Yeah.
In 9 playoff games, or 11 playoff games so far. That's unbelievable. I mean, that ties a record. Yeah. Or maybe it's set a record.
What's another thing that's interesting, the 2 Pro Bowl managers of the year, Roberts and Francona, were faced with the same situation. They're handling it different.
Yeah.
Dave Roberts had the same situation. Could I start Kershaw or not? He didn't. It came back to bite him. So Francona's in that same situation. He said, I'm going to start my ace. I think actually the Cubs can get him, and I don't think this is just Homer me talking. These guys got to look at what he's got. They've got the home crowd behind them, and look, they know what's facing them. They lose, they're not in a good spot. They win, they're in a good spot.
Yeah.
The rest of the starters of Cleveland, they're not world beaters. I'm not worried about them. The bullpen we knew was good. They've shown that they're good, but you get those starters early. Last night, what was really interesting, if you look at Tomlin's numbers, he didn't really walk or strike anyone out. We hit the ball. We were contacting, it was just, there were atom balls. Eventually those fall.
I can't even think of the last time there was a 1-0 game at Wrigley Field on a regular day. But for a 1-0 game, when in the beginning of the game they said the wind was blowing out.
Yeah.
I was just really surprised that nobody just got one into the jet stream.
Omar, you have tickets for any of these games, or you watch them at home?
I'm watching at home unless you know somebody. I'm saying I don't have that kind of time, and like I said, if I'm not in the ballpark, I want to stay as far away as possible right now. I'm old and fat, so I won't be able to get away.
Hey, I want to ask you about the All-Star game for a second, and about home field advantage being awarded to the team that wins the All-Star game. Now, anyone out there who is a fan of this here program knows that we think it's just ridiculous. And the situation is the fact that if you do not have home field advantage, you have to play, you have to finish, if you want to win the World Series in front of your fans, you have to do it in 5 games. Okay? Obviously, the Cubs had the best record. They won 103 games.
Yeah.
This should have been their World Series to host, to be the home team. I just don't like it.
Wait. Under the old rules, that necessarily wouldn't have been the case either, because if you remember, the old rules was just alternate. ALM.
No, right. You're right. You're right.
Either.
Right. You're right. They used to alternate. I really like the idea of having the World Series be hosted by the team that has the best record. And if both teams ended with the same record in the regular season, then they'd have to flip
Celebrity
a coin
death
or
match.
something.
I don't know.
My idea would be whoever has the best interleague record, since this is an interleague thing.
Right.
That would be the way I would use it.
You know, because I just think that it's, I mean, nobody seems to take the All-Star game seriously, or maybe the American League takes it more seriously than the National League does, and that's why they win it all the time.
Of course, as a Cub fan, from all the Cardinal haters, they've been throwing the All-Star game because, there's that whole, the Cubs elected all their guys to the All-Star game, they should have won the game thing. But look, Bryant did his part. He rocked it over in the first inning. It's just like you said, nobody else in the NL showed up.
Right, exactly.
It's a horrible thing. The All-Star game in general, it's for the fans. It should stay for the fans. Forget this. Now this time it means something. The only reason it happened is because Bud Selig got embarrassed in his own home ballpark.
Right.
That's the only reason.
Exactly. And they made it, and they turned it into a joke. And the thing is, what they do? They suspend the player a game if they don't participate in the All-Star game. That's just ridiculous.
Something like that.
It's just ridiculous.
Something like that.
You know what? You can't have a game that is going to decide something as important as the World Series and then not play it like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You just can't. You can't have the main guys or your all-stars, quote unquote, whoever the fans voted in, play 2 innings or 3 innings. It's just
So what's the weather like there today? I thought I saw it was going to be a little better than yesterday, not quite as cold. But it's a night game though, right?
I don't know what it's going to be tonight. Right now, I'm looking. My temperature gauge says 67 degrees. The wind is a little bit. I mean, it's a very pleasant day. We'll see what happens game time. The skies are looking kind of gray, so maybe there's a little bit of rain in the forecast, but I don't think anything is going to threaten anything. It's mild.
That was unusual. I guess game 2 they moved it up an hour or something because of
actually, all
the
of
forecast.
Yeah, I think.
They moved it up an hour, and it still took 4 hours.
Yeah. 4 hours. God.
Do you know that in 1908, when they played the World Series against Detroit, of course nobody knows this but me because I looked it up. They played 2 games. One game was 6-1, and it lasted only 90 minutes.
Wow.
They had another game that was 3-0 the Cubs, and it took just 95 minutes. What is different? Right? Baseball is still the same game, right? I mean, it's still the same game. It's still 27 outs for each team.
Yeah, but there's TV, there's commercials, there's instant replay now, there's a whole bunch of crap,
Well, pitching changes. The reason Game 2 took so long is the Indians went through, 7 relief pitchers?
Yeah.
So when you're out there trudging a track between the mound and home plate, the dugout and the mound, 20 times a game, that's going to slow it down.
Well, they had the game that they beat the Dodgers in. That 7th inning took an hour. Just the 1 inning took an hour.
Yep.
Because I think the Cubs had 6, the Dodgers had 6 pitching changes, and the Cubs had 5.
Wow.
It was unbelievable. It was something.
I hate these specialized relievers. I mean, I guess they're good if you play Stratomatic like I do, but in real baseball, it just bogs down the game. Bring in one guy for one batter, take him out. It's ridiculous. It really is.
All right.
mean,
So what do the Cubs got to do tonight other than win the game? What do they got to do? Obviously, they got to get some runs.
Got to hit in the
they
clutch.
got to swing. They got to swing the bat. Kluber throws it over the plate. You can't be looking at pitches, and that's what happened game one. They looked at pitches. You just got to come out swinging. They got to do what they did against Kershaw in that game. Just swing the bats. You make contact. If they have Salazar in left field, I was so upset they didn't take advantage of Salazar being in the outfield. They didn't try to hit it there. They didn't try to run on him. They've got to take advantage of him out there. This is a dude who has now played, I believe, 9 innings in his major league career in the outfield. They've got to take advantage of him.
I like their chances tonight. I really do. As you said, I mean, Kluber, yeah, he's the race, but he's going on 3 days rest. I like your analogy. You talked about the fact what happened with them with Kershaw. Kershaw, he beat them the first time. They're in it. You get a chance to see a pitcher a couple of times, and it's pretty recent. I think the Cubs are going to kill him tonight. To tell you the truth.
You're looking big
I
tonight.
do too. I do too. I think they're going to put up a couple cooking numbers in the first couple innings, and then Miller, you throw him in there, then you're going to waste him for tomorrow. So that makes it good for tomorrow.
All right, Omar, we're running out of time here. Hopefully next weekend we get you back on, and you'll be drinking champagne on Saturday morning.
I don't know what I'm going to drink. I did the champagne after the Dodgers game. I got to come up with something better for this one.
Yeah, okay. All right, sounds good, man.
All righty, man. Thanks, Omar. Good luck tonight. I hope. I hate to tell you this because I might be a jinx, but I'm all in on the Cubs. I want them to win.
Ah,
All righty. Good talking to you, Omar. Have a great day. Let's go, Cubs.
All right, man. We're going to take another break here on the Glory Day Show. When we get back, we'll switch gears. We'll talk a little bit about the NHL.
With our good pal, Pete Torgeson. Torgy.
Outlaw Pete. Stay with us. You're watching the Glory Day Show with Bruce and Disco, only on the Inravio TV network. We're coming right back.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
This is Joe Larson. You should check out the 505 on Racing Show live every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or catch us on video on demand anytime, 24/7, only on the Inravio TV network.
Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE. Your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop. 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
Welcome back to the Glory Day Show, here with Bruce and Disco on the Inravio TV network. Here in New York, our baseball teams have gone for a few weeks now, and our football teams just aren't going anywhere either. The Knicks just played their first game of the year and looked like a bunch of, like a minor league team against the world champion Cleveland Cavaliers. And does anyone really care about the Nets in Brooklyn?
I don't.
Well, okay, it makes two
really
of us,
know,
okay. That leaves us with just one thing to look forward to until next spring, and that's, of course, hockey.
We love hockey here on this show.
Granted, the Islanders have stumbled out of the gate in their first few games, but the sheer joy that hockey brings to us here on the Glory Day Show really shows no bounds.
Now, we're hoping to get our good pal Pete Torgeson.
Do we got him on the phone? All right.
We're working on it. So let's talk about the Islanders for a minute.
Let's do that.
Okay, so The Islanders have been having a little bit of a tough time. You know, they seem to be having the exact same issues that they had last time, which were they can't find anybody to play with Tavares.
Yeah.
Their goaltending is good, but it's not great. And their power play stinks.
Yeah, the power play is horrible.
How could that be? How could you know going into the season that your power play stinks and not make it better?
Well, I don't think they're doing it consciously. I mean,
No, I'm just saying, you know, don't you think that you'd be, it just doesn't seem, granted, they may be putting different people into the spots, but the power play still doesn't do the things that you see successful power plays doing.
It's a long season. I mean, to me, the biggest thing is they lost 3 really good players, and, you know, they replaced them, but I really didn't think that anybody they replaced them with was as good. Oposo, they lost. He went to Buffalo. Franz Nielsen, he went to Detroit.
Right.
Matt Martin went to Toronto. And actually, did you watch the game Thursday night?
Yes.
I watched a little bit of that game. And they're making a big deal about Matt Martin, I guess, because, you know, the Islanders play tomorrow night against Toronto, and Matt Martin is coming back in. And they showed, like, the top 10 plays of Matt Martin. I mean, boy, I'll tell you, you know.
How do you replace 700 hits or whatever it was that he had?
You don't. You don't.
I mean, I know he had a ridiculous amount of hits. Probably more because every time before he'd go off the ice, he'd hit somebody.
Yeah.
You know, just a little. You know, his job was to.
But he scored some big goals too. He really did. You know.
And that was what I think.
That was gravy.
Right. That was all great. But also that the fourth line was fantastic, and you know we had talked about it being not really a fourth line.
Right.
Definitely the best fourth line
in the NHL, in the league.
But you know what? When your fourth line is outperforming your first line,
that's a problem.
That's a problem. You know what? I really one of the things I'd really like to see them start doing is, you know, the kid Anthony
Weiner.
Anthony Weiner, no.
Not Anthony Weiner, okay. No, he's not playing hockey. Okay, thank
Beauvalet?
God. Yeah.
Beauvaleri?
He got hurt, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I would like to see them bring up some of the other guys. I'd like to see Hosang up. This kid, he can pass the... He's got an instinct. Granted, he doesn't know how to use an alarm clock, but he's got an instinct. I think he would be a good guy for the Islanders. I think a good guy to play with a guy like Tavares, because what you need, Tavares can't be the only guy on the line that's doing things, you know. And plus, this kid is tough.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he might be able to fill that Clark Gillies type role that we always talked about.
Yeah, we need somebody like that for sure.
You know, so.
Do we have Pete or we don't have Pete?
No Pete yet, right?
No Pete.
So we're going to go under the assumption that Pete is getting lubed up for the New England Patriot game.
When's that? That's tomorrow.
Tomorrow. So he gets lubed up.
He must be getting really lubed up.
Well, he always gets lubed up early. So you know what? What do you want to do? You want to keep talking hockey, or you want to go back to baseball?
Let's go back to baseball.
Let's go back to baseball. Okay. Let's talk about the Cubs.
Well, here's something, you know, Curtis Granderson, okay? You know he won the Roberto Clemente Award yesterday?
Yes, I saw that.
He was in town, and he really, I mean, maybe he didn't have a great season for the Mets. I love Curtis Granderson, I really do.
He did the same thing
he is really a great human being.
He did the same thing he did last year. He really came on in
the second
August
half.
and September.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But he was, I mean, I think he's a native Chicagoan. I mean, his foundation, I think, is there, you know. He happened to be there for, and he's hoping for a Game 7. He said, yeah, I mean, he was there for Game 3. He thought it was great, you know. I just, you know, there are so many baseball players that really, you know, they're just in it for themselves and things like that. He really is a guy that is a stand-up citizen. He really is, you know.
And now what's going to go on with that outfield? I know that Cespedes, the word on the street is that Cespedes is going to opt out, right? If Cespedes opts out, that doesn't mean that the Mets can't sign him.
Right.
But
just not for the same money that he agreed to
the
already.
guaranteed money he would have had if he didn't opt.
Yeah.
So
they already have a crowded outfield,
right.
You know.
And almost every one of them is left-handed.
Yeah.
You know, you've got Conforto.
Yeah. You got Granderson.
Granderson. You've got Nimmo. You've got Jay Bruce, right? You've got Juan Lagares.
Yeah.
You've got Cespedes, if Cespedes comes back. Right? Did I say Brandon Nemo yet?
You did.
All right. So what are we going to do with all these guys?
Well, as good a player as Cespedes is, there's always something about that guy that just under the surface I just don't like.
I like him. I like him a lot because I just like to watch him swing the bat.
Well,
I know that's
yeah.
Like, I don't like the way he catches fly balls in the outfield. I don't like the way he doesn't run out.
Yeah, he doesn't hustle. To me, he's an incomplete player. You know what I mean? And the reason why he's incomplete is because he's got too big an ego. It's always about me. Look at me, I'm beautiful. I mean,
But I need guys like that.
We don't need a guy like that.
But
I say good riddance.
Guys like
I say
that.
good riddance to the guy. Sign with another team. You know what? We got a crowded outfield anyway. We'll figure out some other way. If our pitching staff didn't fall apart this year, we'd probably be where the Cubs are right now.
Well, we're also looking at probably 15 years before we get back to the World Series.
Why do you think that?
Well, because the Mets seem to have followed a pattern.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, after 1969 was fairly unusual, right? Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Okay. So the Mets win the World. The Mets get to the World Series in 1973. Right. The next time they get to the World Series,
86.
13 years.
But between 69 and 73 was only 4 years.
Right,
And it was the same
the
core team.
69 was an aberration.
No, I don't
Listen.
think it was.
Just follow along.
Right. It'll be huge. I don't know.
So 73 to 86 is
13 years.
86 to 2000 is
14. 2000.
to 2015 is
15 years. Okay, 13, 14, 15. Sounds like it'll be 16 years. Okay,
I'm just laying the math out there for
16
you.
years. God, I'll be in my late 70s. Man, that's not so good.
That's be pretty bad.
I know.
If that's the next time the Mets get to the World Series,
Yep. That will not be good.
no. It will not.
But again, I mean, it's kind of interesting. We talked about this a number of times. I mean, the Cubs, they went for the position players, and they said, "We'll worry. Our pitching staff. We'll get a bunch of veterans. Veterans, we can probably depend on them more and things like that." And really, short term, last year the Cubs didn't get to the World Series. This year they did, and I think they'll be a contender for a long time.
The Cubs decided that their pitching was going to be okay.
Yeah.
And that they wanted to shore up. I mean, you look at you not even being a Cubs fan, probably know 5 of the 8 guys that the Chicago Cubs have as their starters.
My friend, you give me too much credit.
But when you look at those guys, you say, "Wow, this guy's good. This guy's good. This guy's
They're
good.
all
This
good.
guy's good." They're all good.
They're all good, and they all play
Whereas
multiple positions too.
The Mets spent all their time and effort in the off-season last year not doing that, not shoring up anything. The only thing they worked on a little bit was the bullpen.
Well,
because they were expecting the pitching to carry them.
Yeah. They thought they did. I mean, they brought in Neil Walker, which was a good move at second base. Right. Lucas Duda, they thought they were set with. He got hurt. What happened at shortstop?
They got Cabrera to play shortstop. That's the best move that they made.
Yeah.
Was actually the shortstop.
They brought in
second
Jose
base.
Reyes to play third because David Wright went down. They thought Conforto started out pretty good, man, and he just went in a slump, and he was up and down the rest of the year is what he was.
But if you take a look at everyone that's on the team right now,
Yeah.
and let's look 5 years down the road, okay? You know that barring them not being able to pay these guys, this pitching staff will probably still be intact, right? Most of the pitching staff. Right, Syndergaard.
Harvey's he got knocked out next year, right?
No, Harvey be back. Harvey be back in the spring training.
No, I'm talking about after 2017.
No, I meant if they were able to sign everybody and keep everybody together.
I mean that's
right. But
all these guys
that,
are going to command big salaries, though, don't you think?
But other than that, who on this? Cabrera's not going to be around. David Wright, Lucas Duda, and you don't really hear about anything in their farm system.
Well, because they traded all these guys, to pick up other guys is what they did. I mean, Fulmer was an up and coming. That's another pitcher, though.
Another pitcher, though. But what I'm saying is, I don't think they pay enough attention to hitting. And at least.
Well, it's a different philosophy. You either say, you know what, we're going to load up with the pitching, and we're going to have enough hitting to basically win the 2-1 games. But the Cubs went the opposite way. Said, you know what, we're not going to worry about it. We're going to have hitters, and we're going to win the 9-8 games. So we're going to go and do.
Well, I have to tell you, obviously it's Monday morning quarterbacking, okay? But I think that what the Mets learned, the lesson that the Mets learned this year, is that pitching is fragile.
It is.
And
they learn that. I mean, that's always an obvious thing, is what it is,
But I think that teams are going to look at the Cubs, and they're going to look at the Toronto Blue Jays, and they're going to say, look, they got one or two really good pitchers. Mm-hmm. They got enough pitchers to get them through everything else, and they're going to start concentrating on the hitters.
Well, the other thing is, you look at some of these teams with some success, they have a pretty good bullpen.
Yeah, right. You're absolutely right.
And the Mets had a decent bullpen, but Familia, all we're going to remember about him is that he gave up the home run, to lose the game in the playoff game against the Giants, And he had a great year too, though.
Yeah, he had 51.
Yeah.
50. You said 51
and
games,
you think about, with the Trinity of Smoke, right? Those three Yankees, right? Two of those guys are now playing against each other in the World Series,
and
right?
are the main points on both of their teams.
Yeah, Chapman and Andrew Miller.
So you look at where the Mets need to be, and I think, and I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but I think that the way Terry Francona is managing the Indians, I think that's going to change the way baseball managers manage. The same way La Russa changed the way relief pitchers were managed by using them just for one inning for one batter or two batters, that situational type thing that now everybody uses. But I think that if Francona, if they win this World Series, you're going to see a lot more of the quote-unquote closers coming in much earlier in the game. Yeah. Because that's when you need to end the game, because you could end the game in the 6th inning. You could end the game in the 7th inning. You know what I mean? But if you let somebody back into that game and then say, oh, well, it's all right, I got a 4-run lead.
And if you think about it, it wasn't just Francona. You think about, the Royals the last couple of years did the same thing.
Right.
Really, right?
But they still followed that same formula where they saved that closer to the last inning.
Yeah.
But not Francona, man. He's bringing his closer into the 6th
Well, he looks
inning.
at a crisis. He says the crisis doesn't have to be in the 8th inning. It could be in the 5th inning.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I'm just going to make sure that we stay in the game and basically we shut these guys down.
You ask, next time we talk to Jimmy Baseball, who's a baseball manager, and I've managed a lot of games. You've watched a lot of games. How many times has it been the middle of the game when you say, this is the game right here? Yeah. This is the time where I need a hit. And I used to tell the Little League kids the same thing all the time. When the guy strikes out with the bases loaded and you're down by a run in the last inning, everybody was like, oh, what? And I said, you didn't lose the game there. Yeah. We lost the game in the 4th inning when we had 2nd and 3rd no outs and couldn't get a run home. So that's why I think Francona may change the way the game is played forever.
We will see. We will see.
All right, we're going to take another short break. When we come back, we will wrap up for the weekend. Stay with us. You're watching The Gloria Days Show with Bruce and Disco, only on the Inravio TV network. We're coming right back.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansonCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered. Village Music Shop of Maston, 1-800-HEY-DUDE, your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop, 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
What's up, guys? We're Scared No Fair, and we're here with Inravio. If they catch you at a show with one of these bracelets, you will win $100.
That's a lot of money.
So get a bracelet.
Do whatever it takes to get that. Hit them up online.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
Hey, I'm Raul Panther.
And I'm Commander B. Hawkins.
And I'm Russ Weller. We're some of the proto men. If we see you without this bracelet, you're punching the But if you have this bracelet from Inravio.com, you can win $100.
Put one of these on, or else.
Welcome back to the Barday Show, Bruce and Disco, here on the Inravio TV network. So what did we learn today?
That 108 has a lot of significance for the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah.
And you did way too much research on that, my friend.
I did, but I can't say. You know, the thing is, you had asked me, I can't say that I actually verified any of that.
Oh, no?
You know, but I got it from the
It's
internet.
unverifiable.
So you know,
it's from the
true.
internet. Okay, that's
You know,
that's a
but it's
reliable
not
source.
like I got it off the WikiLeaks page.
Not the Dickie Leaks page.
No, not the WikiLeaks page.
108.
108. I got a couple more things about the Cubs.
Okay.
That I wanted
Does it
to
involve
go through.
108?
No, it involves 1908.
1908. Okay.
You know, we talked about the Cubs. You know, they were really an unbelievable team in the first half of the century.
You were saying it. I mean, they were in, I think you said 10 World Series or something, is what you said?
Yeah, you know, and they were in the World Series 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
1906, 1907, and 1908. You know, that last World Series, that 1908 World Series.
I remember
win,
like it was yesterday.
I can't even remember 2008. But you know what? The entire attendance for that World Series was only 62,000 for
Wow.
5 games.
5 games.
There was a big scandal, and you know what it involved?
Well, that sounds about the time of the Black Sox scandal is what it sounds like. You know?
Almost. It was ticket scalping.
Oh, yeah?
Could you imagine? Those
Ticket
tickets were going for almost 75 cents a game.
Wow,
No,
75.
I have no
Well,
idea.
it might have been. And 75 cents is probably a lot of money back then.
You know who used to play for Detroit back then?
Ty Cobb.
Ty Cobb.
I knew
He
Ty
was
Cobb.
21
Yep.
years old. And you know what? You know how they always say that Ty Cobb is he was a dick. You know, they always said he was this guy who everybody hated.
Yeah.
You know what he did? They were winning. The only game that the Tigers won, they were winning 6-1. In the 9th inning, he stole second, he stole third, and he tried to steal home, and they threw him out.
Ty Cobb. Okay, my kind of guy.
But the 1908 World Series
Yeah.
was a rematch of the 1907 World Series.
Okay, so it was Detroit. And,
Right, Detroit and Chicago again. Now, Chicago swept the series, but the first game was a tie.
A tie.
It was a 3-3 tie. They played 12 innings.
I guess got called because of darkness.
Because of darkness, and they didn't finish the game. Okay, and
That
one
was
other
when
thing.
they played games during the daytime. I don't know. I didn't even know if there was lights. I mean,
But I mean, it's October, so if you start a game at 1 o'clock,
Yeah.
there might have already been a time change or whatever. By the time you get to 5,
yeah.
But I don't know.
But those games were going 90 minutes, Disco. I mean, think about that too.
maybe,
How could that happen, man?
Maybe there were rain clouds.
Yeah, maybe there were.
So one other quick thing: the 1906 World Series was the Chicago Cubs and the Chicago White Sox.
Wow.
Okay, the Cubs had won 116 games. They were 116-36.
Wow.
And the White Sox had the worst average in all of baseball. They hit just 236 as a team that year. And what they did was they alternated every game.
Oh, really?
Home,
well,
away, home.
Geez, what they're doing,
right?
They're sleeping in the same bed at night. They're not getting on a plane.
But it was one of the greatest upsets in World Series history. The Chicago White Sox actually won that World Series. But two significant things. It was the first time that both teams from Chicago had ever played in a World Series, okay? And it was the first and only time that two teams from the same city outside of New York have ever played for the World Series.
Really?
Because you don't count San Francisco and Oakland.
Well, they're two separate
Because they're
cities.
two separate
Yeah.
cities. All right?
That was damn close and interesting.
And they were in the World Series 7 more times in the next 37 years.
Wow.
1910, 18, 29, 32, 35, 38, and the last time, 1945.
I think that Chicago's going to win tonight, but I think it's Cleveland's year. I really do.
I'm going to go with Chicago winning tonight, and then they're going to win the next two games, and that's going to be it. They're going to win the whole thing.
We shall see.
Thanks to our producers, Anthony Mazzalo and Bonnie Schultz, all the hard work they do, making us look so good out here. Thanks to Omar Garby, and no thanks to Pete Torgerson for helping us out on the show today.
We were going to start a Pete Torgerson for the Quinnipiac Hall of Fame,
Now we're going to start the Where's Pete fund.
Yeah, really, okay.
A GoFundMe, Where's Pete? You can read Omar's article on the baseball website, A View from the Bench, and you can follow him on Twitter and Facebook. Thanks again, Chuck and Bonnie, for putting up with this nonsense week after week and allowing us to bring you this type of quality programming. And of course, thanks to you, our loyal viewers. Don't forget, you can check out the Glory Days On Demand page on www.inravio.com, and you can watch any of our past shows or any of the other great shows on the Inravio TV network. Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe. Halloween's coming up. Be careful. Next week, all politics next week.
Don't go egging anybody's house.
Don't go egging anybody's house.
All right.
See you next time.